Quiet, Piggy. Quiet, Piggy. That's what the President of the United States said to a reporter who asked him about the files. Quiet, Piggy. That is how he talks to women publicly. Publicly talks to women like that. How do you think he talks to them privately?
It's been 6 days and I'm still pissed about the quiet piggy comment that this president made to this journalist. In the endless catalog of horrible things that this man has said, this isn't even the worst. And that's my point. It just took 2 words to show you exactly how he views women.
I feel like we glided over the whole Trump calling the female journalist Piggy a little bit too quickly. Like, hello? Also, the irony of this guy calling anybody Piggy when he looks like a melting Crayola crayon and basically just a walking, talking styrofoam burger takeaway container is just, sucks.
So here we go again with the President of the United States thinking it's okay to call a woman a pig on national TV. MAGA. What excuse are you going to have now why he called a woman a pig on national TV? Because MAGA always seems to think that anything and everything he says is okay. So what excuse is it now? Was it okay for him to call a woman a pig on national TV? Or should I say a piggy?
Quiet Piggy. Quiet Piggy. The rage I am feeling. I had to regulate my nervous system before I shot this. Do you see my hands are shaking right now? So clearly I still have some more regulation to do, but I believe this is holy rage and I need to speak up right now on behalf of all women, on behalf of all humans, to this disgusting excuse of a leader. I want to speak from a leadership perspective. I want to speak from a feminine perspective, a spiritual, energetic perspective, and a political perspective. Your days are numbered, pal. Let's call this what it is. It's ritual humiliation. And people have become desensitized to it. So much so that the woman after her says, "Sir, did anybody jump in? Did anybody say, absolutely not? Did anybody say, you will speak to my peer with respect?" Nope. Nobody said a thing. So let's call it what it is. It's a patriarchal spell to keep women small. And the system is working exactly the way it was designed to. I am enraged.
This is not only disgusting and demeaning to women, but it is a prime example how he is continuing to give permission to bully people. Our country is supposed to look up to our president as a moral leader, as someone that we should look to for hope, for bringing people together, unity, where everyone feels respected. He continues to bully groups of people. This is demeaning to women. It's dangerous for women. This type of language is dangerous to women because it gives permission for other people to use it.
The White House has now responded to this. This reporter behaved in an inappropriate and unprofessional way toward her colleagues on the plane. If you're going to give it, you have to be able to take it. He's now saying, or the White House is now saying, they were rude to the colleagues because there's so many of us that are saying, why aren't you guys saying anything? So it was kind of like covering up for the colleagues that didn't speak up for her too. This kind of behavior is not new. We see it all the time with Trump. In fact, on Tuesday, he was saying to Mary Bruce, I think the way you asked the question with the anger and the meanness is terrible. You go back and learn how to be a reporter. No more questions from you. And this is not the first time he has gone after a reporter from ABC News. Now, while I do appreciate, having some of the information, I would really like to see journalists stand up to him and say, no, we don't speak to other people like that. You do not speak to the citizens of this country like that.
What did the president mean when he called reporter Piggy?
Look, the president is very frank and honest with everyone in this room. You've all seen it yourself. You've all experienced it yourselves. And I think it's one of the many reasons that the American people reelected this president, because of his frankness.
I first wanted to break in and say this is the reporter that Trump called Piggy. This is from People magazine above. That's Catherine Lucy. Her name is not Peggy. Her name's not McGee. And I think that's important too, that Caroline Leavitt did not make excuses, and she absolutely did not apologize. This is the rest of her quote.
So I think the president being frank and open and honest to your faces rather than hiding behind your backs is frankly a lot more respectful than what you saw in the last administration.
Donald Trump shoved his finger in the face of a female reporter and said, "Quiet, quiet, Piggy," and the White House press secretary not only defended that, but called that being respectful. She said at least he said it to her face. So she agrees that he was being truthful when he called her Piggy? What are we doing?
Hello guys, and welcome to the Joy Report, where we get an outsider's view with an insider's clarity. Just this week, DT has triggered a fresh wave of outrage when he referred to a Bloomberg female reporter as Piggy during a press gaggle aboard Air Force One. The reporter, a woman, had pressed him on the release of Jeffrey Epstein-related files, and in a brusque moment, he interrupted her, pointed a finger, and delivered the demeaning phrase. The response was immediate. Critics across the political spectrum condemned the remark as sexist, degrading, and emblematic of a broader pattern in his behavior toward women journalists. Before we proceed, all credit goes to the creators of these videos. You'll find all their ads in my description box. But for now, let me play you a few more clips and I'll be back with more commentary.
You let me finish my statement. You are the worst. You're with Bloomberg, right? You are the worst. I don't know why they even have you. Quiet. I don't go to war. Listen, be quiet. Listen. You don't listen. You never listen. That's why you're second rate. What he did, well, you don't know much about crypto. You know nothing about nothing. You're fake news. But let me do it now. You know, it's not the question that I mind. It's your attitude. I think you are a terrible reporter. You're a terrible person and a terrible reporter. Oh, fake news, CNN? I'll hold it. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Wait till you hear this question.
Thank you, sir.
You should really say how great. Who are you with?
And the same to you, Mr. President.
No, who are you with?
I'm with ABC News, sir.
You're with who?
ABC News, sir.
Fake news. ABC fake news. One of the worst in the business.
I cut that off early because it just kept going and going because this man continues to insult, berate, belittle, demean any woman reporter that dares to ask him any type of question. This is not new. He's always done this. All the women that he's ever went up against, he calls them dumb or nasty. That montage just has me asking myself two questions. What type of woman could support a man who speaks to women like this, or stay with the man who supports that and is okay with it?
Let me tell you this. I've covered that up for your viewing pleasure. I just want to tell you the gymnastics that MAGA is performing today. They are saying that it was not, in fact, this reporter that was on Air Force One when it was, but they are claiming that it was Margaret Collins, aka Peggy, who does work for Bloomberg. Yes, she is the Washington bureau chief, not a reporter. She used to be a reporter, but she is no longer a reporter. She is also the executive editor of U.S. economy and government coverage for Bloomberg News. So you can do backflips and somersaults all you want, MAGA. It was not a woman named Peggy. It was Catherine.
Many white women in particular voiced their anger and disappointment. For them, this incident isn't just about a snide insult. It's a symbol of a deeper lack of respect. They argue that calling a female reporter Piggy in front of cameras and colleagues reveals that he feels entirely entitled to demean women who challenge him. The fact that he used that language publicly signals not only disrespect, but complete disregard for the dignity of the press, especially when that press happens to be female. This outburst did not happen in a vacuum. In fact, it is part of a long-running pattern in DT's public behavior. Over the years, he has repeatedly used personal insults directed at women, especially those in media or the political spotlight, rather than engaging with the substance of questions or criticism. DT has made deeply sexist and offensive comments about women. His record includes boasting of non-consensual actions in a now infamous recording, which first came to light during his campaign, and commenting that when you're a star, you can treat women in ways that others cannot. He has also insulted women's bodies. One high-profile incident involved a former Miss Universe, whom he repeatedly mocked for her weight, leveraging a nickname that implied she was akin to a pig. Such remarks are not random or isolated. They form a pattern of gendered attacks, showing a readiness to punish women not for their ideas, but for existing in the public sphere on their own terms. His mistreatment of female reporters goes beyond just name-calling. There have been repeated moments when he spoke over women, shutting down their questions or framed their voices as threatening. At times, times, he has dismissed their work or questioned their competence rather than addressing the substance of their inquiries. Some journalists have pointed out that these attacks send a chilling signal, not just to the women being insulted, but to the other women in the press watching. In defending his quiet piggy remark, the White House attempted to shift blame onto the reporter, suggesting she was unprofessional, but many rejected that defense, arguing that labeling a woman as piggy when she's doing her job is not a legitimate response. It is a power play. Many saw through the attempt to reframe the insult as somehow justified by her behavior. Instead, they interpreted it as vindication of a long-standing problem. What makes this moment especially resonant for many white women is the way it resonates with broader issues of respect, privilege, and power. On the one hand, there's a sense of solidarity among women who feel that the press is often their voice, and that when a powerful man treats a woman journalist like this, he's sending a message to all women who dare to speak up. On the other hand, for some, the outrage also reflects how gendered insults still carry weight in public discourse. When someone in power uses demeaning language towards a woman, it can feel like a reinforcement of sexist norms rather than a mere slip. People are arguing that DT is not simply having a bad moment, rather, he is enacting a communication style that has consistently undermined women. Supporters of the reporter and democratic norms say that incidents like these matter not just for one moment, but for what they represent long term. When leaders devalue or shame women in the public sphere, it weakens institutions that rely on accountability. It also normalizes behavior that many say is harmful to gender equality, both for journalists and for society at large.
Okay, so can I just say something? If I am a member of the press pool speaking to the president, and I am standing there in that press pool, and the president puts his finger in a female reporter's face and tells her, "Quiet, Piggy," I am not standing there and saying nothing in that situation. I am not tolerating that. I am either cursing him out to his face, I know, he's the president, whatever, but there's a moment where you have to be willing to lose your job. Or at the very least, I am walking out and refusing to do more press conferences until he stops abusing women. Are we putting up with this now? This is going to become normal? This is not normal. It's not tolerable. It is not tolerable behavior by anybody, let alone the President of the United States. Why is the press not refusing to cover him? Why are they not saying we will not work with a person who is abusive to members of our press corps? You guys, I'm sorry, but I am not seeing allyship here. This is not acceptable. Abusing women publicly in a press corps is not acceptable.
In the wake of this controversy, many commentators and media watchdogs are calling for greater accountability. They argue that it is not enough to merely condemn the remark. There must be structural changes in how public officials speak to journalists, especially women. Women journalists in particular say they already face extra challenges. They are more likely than male reporters to receive hate comments online, more likely to be insulted for their appearance, and more likely to be dismissed when they ask firm questions. So when DT used a name like Piggy, it felt like he was adding fuel to a fire that women have been trying to fight for years. Many white women felt shocked and angry. They said the insult showed a lack of respect for women. This moment wasn't just about one rude comment. It felt like part of a bigger pattern, one that they have seen again and again over the years. They argued that for DT to use that kind of word openly, without hesitation, shows he feels free to put women down whenever he wants, even when they are just doing their jobs. This moment also sparked discussions about respect, leadership, and what people expect from public officials. Some people have asked, if a leader feels comfortable insulting a woman on camera, how does he treat women when the cameras are off? If he feels free to mock a journalist, how does he see the role of the press? And if this behavior keeps happening, what kind of example does it set for younger generations? The incident has now become another piece of a much bigger conversation about how women are treated in politics, journalism, and public life. Many women hope this moment will push more people to speak up, to support women reporters, and to demand higher standards from those in power.
So apparently the White House has entered its "be grateful the president insults you to your face" era, because when Donald Trump called a reporter Piggy, yes, like he was scolding a toddler in a barnyard, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt actually stepped up to a podium, looked grown adults in the eyes, and basically said, "You're welcome."
So what do you all think? Do you think DT's insult was part of a bigger pattern of disrespect towards women? And what does this incident say about how society treats confident, outspoken women today? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. I would love to keep this discussion going. Otherwise, that's it from me. I also have another video specifically tailored for you. And if you enjoy such kind of content, please click up here and enjoy. Also, consider subscribing, liking and sharing because it helps me grow my channel and helps YouTube recommend this video to a wider audience. Lastly, consider joining my channel and I would really appreciate it. But for now, Thank you so much for watching. And until the next time, the Joy Report out.